Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac Show. I said cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm your bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed.
Welcome back. I'm Cognac Wellerlane reporting to you right here from the Winkleman Gallery. I'm bringing you all the information about fashion, news, entertainment, and of course art. And I am here with critically acclaimed artist and filmmaker. And we're here at this lovely exhibit all about Binocular. Tell my audience, explain to my audience all about this exhibit that we are seeing here at the Winkleman Gallery.
I had been taking still photographs of animals for a few years, living and dead, and primarily dead. Had a project called Dead Nature, and but my background really is in filmmaking.
Yes, I know that.
And video art, and I had started working with circular images a number of years ago, and just one day I shot the parrot that's in the other room, and I was starting to fool around, and then I doubled the image,
And voila!
and there was this dialogue that occurred between the two sides, one abstract and one representational. So
Fascinating.
you see the animal, and then you see exactly the same footage, but without any recognizable creature. But you notice, my feeling was that you noticed things about these different species because the abstract image was there. Like,
This is something you would never normally recognize or really understand until you actually saw it in front of you.
well, you don't think about birds breathing, for instance, and the parrot. That's what you see. That's what you think first when you see the abstract image. I started paying attention to how different species used movement in their lives or stillness. And one thing that I hadn't thought about was that there are several reasons for an animal to be very still.
Yeah, what are those reasons?
Well, if you are a predator, you want to be still, waiting for something to come along that you can eat. And if you are prey, you don't want to be seen, so you're very still. And
Deceiving your predator into thinking that maybe you're not alive too, right?
right, or you're just part of the foliage. And then birds were so interesting because they're really the most ants are insanely busy. I shot an ant hill for about a week.
I always found that to be fascinating, ants and ant holes,
Oh, yes.
how they're so mechanically driven to take that food in a train of.
They work together.
Yes.
And they you can see in the
We
video.
we can actually learn from that, don't you think?
Well, we have to be in a hive. We have to give up our individuality.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting studying this ant hill because these bigger ants would come out occasionally with not feathers, wings, and they seemed to be giving orders. So 3 or 4 ants would show up with a really nice looking piece of grass, and then this big one would come out and say, "Go for it, drag that down here." And then 5 minutes later, it might be coming out again, because someone down inside said, "No, that's not exactly the right fit."
It's amazing. It's amazing. Tell my audience, this exhibit today that we are witnessing, how many pictures are in this exhibit totally?
Well, I've done about 20 so far.
That are here today?
No, but today's show includes 8. Yes.
Photographs.
Well, no, the photographs are here. These
Right.
are from the video, but the video, I have 8 videos running.
8 videos running.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me because, of course, I do video. I'm so fascinated by other people that do video. What made you become involved in filmmaking?
I really have an answer for you. I always made art, and so I was studying painting. I considered my life to be that of a painter.
Yeah.
But the direction I was going in painting was more and more, I have to say, reductive, so that the image was becoming, well, basically turning white and into nothing. And so I'm 22, and I thought, I don't think I want to spend the rest of my life in front of something that, for me to work with, it has to be empty. So I just did this turn and embraced a time-based medium, and that's...
And your art just took another dimension, right? Isn't that really what happened? Your art took another dimension?
Well, for me, film meant that I could work in the whole world. That I wasn't interested in Hollywood. I like to watch films, but I was interested in making art that was time-based. And the world could just grow and grow and grow. I mean, it requires travel and working with other interesting people. And it turns out I seem to have been made to do that. So.
And you do it quite well, I might add, quite well. Do you have a favorite film that you've produced, that you've made? Is it this that we're seeing today?
Oh, I'm just getting to know these. These are new in my life. And I haven't turned them really into language yet. But my favorite work would have to be a series that's called Peggy and Fred in Hell.
Yes, I know about that quite well.
Yes, so, and that's a 26-year-long project now.
Really?
Yeah, I started.
26 years.
Yeah. And
you don't look that old, darling.
I didn't lie on the beach that much.
What do you expect now? What's your next project going to be all about?
Oh, well, more of Peggy and Fred in Hell, and I'll continue working on these, and then I have a more narrative film about a Victorian woman traveler that I shot in North Africa.
Oh, I have to see that film. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
If we want to find out more information about you,
Yes.
as the famous acclaimed artist that you are, and the filmmaker that you are,
Yes.
do you have a website? Can we go on your website to find out all this information?
No, I
You
don't.
don't have a
No.
a website. Do you have a Facebook page? So they should all come here
They just
to
have
the
to come here.
Winkleman Gallery, right?
Well, they can Google my name, and there are 2 people who come up. Somebody who was in the upper administration with Clinton, who's a man. Leslie A. Thornton. We have the same name.
And it's both Leslie A. Thornton.
It's both Leslie A. Thornton. That's the male spelling of
Person and artist, and I'm so glad that I came today to see your art. I really am.
Well, I'm really happy you came.
We'll be back in a moment, darlings, with more interviews coming up right here at the Winkleman Gallery in Chelsea. Pink champagne kisses. Winkleman from the Winkleman Gallery right here in Chelsea. What a fabulous exhibit, what a fabulous show, what a fabulous gallery.
That's very kind, thank you.
Tell my audience about this gallery.
We have been in Chelsea for 4 years, since 2006. We work with a range of artists in the painting, sculpture, photography, video, of course, which is what Leslie has in her current show.
Amazing show.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a really beautiful show. And
Now, how did you find Leslie?
she came to us through a show that somebody else had curated. It was a group show, and she was one of the 10 artists in that show. And at the time, we were just talking about the work that was going to be in the show, but she said to me, could I show you these other things that I'm working on? And I saw them, and I said, no, that's it, we're showing those. They're so fabulous. So, and that's...
Really, I mean, she's so unpretentious, too. She's just like somebody that just loves art and loves to express herself, you know?
Well, and she's actually a very influential experimental filmmaker.
I know, I read a little bit about her.
And, you know, as much as she's part of our family now, every now and then someone will come up to me and they'll say, do you know how important she is to experimental film? And I'll say, well, I'm getting a sense because you keep coming up to me and telling me, but she actually is. She's someone who has had a huge influence on an entire generation of experimental filmmakers at this point. And the work in her own body of work is, well, one piece in particular called Peggy and Fred in Hell is this Magnus.
She told me that she's a 26-year project.
And it's ongoing. It's a piece that she's finally made a director's cut of, but it's a work that will continue to be made because it's about the way that we relate to media as sort of consumers of media, and that's constantly changing, and so this piece is constantly evolving.
I know. It's amazing how rapidly our own technology has taken us right into the 21st century with media and marketing. I think people are confused.
Well, there's an article that I saw just last week about how all the time we're spending online is rewiring our brains. And so we are becoming different humans, different people because of how much interaction we have with media. It's not, you know, I mean, Andy Warhol kind of was the father of us all in a regard. He saw what our lives are going to become because of how much time we spend consuming media.
This is true. This is true. Well, I must say I'm having a delightful time here at the Winkleman Gallery. You have a fabulous art gallery. I want you to tell my audience where they can go to find out more information about the gallery.
Okay, well, we have a website. It's called Winkleman.com, WINKLEMAN.com.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
We'll be back in a moment, darlings, with more interviews right here at the Winkleman Gallery in Chelsea. Pink champagne kisses.
Fallacy dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.